Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Today's a really exciting video. I'm doing something that I've never done before, and that is to thrift flip. So in a sense, it's about taking your old clothes that you're not entirely satisfied with, and instead of just discarding them, we want to try to give it new life and redesign it, style it. Sometimes it takes a simple cropping your top or t-shirt or whatever to just make it into a whole new look and make it into something that you're going to absolutely love again. So I wanted to show you guys this in hopes to inspire you to give our clothes a little more of a lasting life, so we don't go through and consume as much clothes as we often do. So it's all about reducing, reusing, and recycling. Now that sounded really nerdy, but yeah, this is also a new challenge for me since I've never done something like this. And yeah, I'm so excited and intrigued. Hopefully you enjoy it and you learn something new. So the first item of clothing we're going to alter is this dress. I wanted to make it into a top and a skirt, so I'm just cutting this dress in half. And here's the top. I'm just marking where I want to cut it. Since this right picture is going to be our inspo, I want it to have straps. So I'm just marking where I want to cut off the top, and I cut that off. So now that we have our shape, I'm just folding down the edges to create our hem. I'm doing this for the front top part, but then also for the back. Then next I have these two scraps of fabric out of which I'm cutting straps. So these were pretty short, so I definitely had to puzzle together longer straps, but I didn't have much fabric to work with. So this is me just trying on the strap if the length fits. I went on to sewing these straps. So the way I did them is I just folded them in half and sewed a straight stitch all the way down, and then to hide the seam I inserted a safety pin into the top and then kind of shimmied that through all the way down and then pulled that all the way through. So in a sense we turned the strap inside out, and that way you get a nice and clean looking strap. And then I went on to sew the hem and attached these straps by hand. I ended up deciding to go for super long straps that you have to tie into a bow. And this is me trying out how it looks if I cinch in the middle with a ruffle. So I decided to do that, and I did that by sewing a rubber band on the inside of the top, and I pulled on the rubber band slightly to give it some tension. And when you relax it, that will create that ruffled effect. And that's it. The next top we're going to alter is this t-shirt. It's really cute, but it's a bit long, and I wanted just to spice it up a little. So all I wanted to do was to crop it, and yeah, so this is me just measuring out how short I want it to be. And I marked the area. So since this shirt has a band on the bottom, I couldn't just cut it off and hem it. So I had to kind of sew the band higher where I want it to be. So this is me just pinning everything in place and sewing that down. In a sense, it's just a fold and then sewing it down. Also, since this shirt has a rubber band on the edge, I learned the hard way that you had to pull on the rubber band so that everything is straight before sewing it down. So here I am just trying it on, seeing that everything fits, the length is fine, before I went ahead and cut off the excess fabric on the inside. So our third project is this old t-shirt that was my brother's. This is what it looks like. I kind of like the red stripes, so that is the part that I wanted to work with. So I cut off the top and went ahead to work on the bottom. So I cut out my pattern. In a sense, we have a front and a back and straps. I wanted to make a halter neck top. And again, I started off with these straps just because I think that's the most fun part. I just did it the same way that I did the other straps, sew it down and then turn it inside out. This really does take some patience, but it does work in the end. Pull it all the way through. Then I went ahead and sewed down all the edges, so to create a nice hem, and sewed on the straps and connected the back to the front. And here I noticed that the top was way too small. I didn't even fit into it, so I had to take the sides apart and add some extra fabric on both sides. I actually really like how the extra fabric turned out to be like this little design element. So thank you so much for watching. This was such a fun project, but also really exhausting mentally, and I feel like I have this newfound appreciation for clothes and how they're made. I know that often nowadays they're made by machines, but it's just, I didn't think it would be so difficult to sew your own clothes, and you really have to be super precise. And I definitely learned to look twice and check 3 times before you start sewing, because I've taken apart so many seams. Yeah, it was definitely a learning process. I love experiencing, trying out new things. I feel like we gain a new sense of appreciation for the item when we actually do it ourselves. And yeah, new experiences always enrich us. So hopefully you try this out as well. Let me know if you have ever kind of DIY'd or thrift flipped before. That would really interest me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!